Hey, Toolkit Bestie. Welcome to our back to school workshop for new subscribers. I'm Ashley from the Customer Happiness team, and today I'm going to show you how to create a caseload, add goals, download reports, create a schedule, and lesson plan. Feel free to log into your Toolkit account during the workshop to follow along. There will also be some great resources and freebies shared at the end of this workshop to help you get started. So I want to know before we dive in, what feature do you want to learn more about? Drop your answer in the comments below. The quickest way to add your caseload into SLP Toolkit is using a CSV spreadsheet file from programs like Numbers, Google Sheets, or Excel. If you don't have a spreadsheet file, no worries. Log in to the IEP software for your district and see if there's an option to export your caseload there. Once you get that magical spreadsheet file, head to the Caseload tab and click on the Actions button at the top of the page. FYI, there's an Actions button at the top of every page in SLP Toolkit, so anytime you want to make a change, you're always going to navigate there first. Once you click on the Actions button, choose the Import Caseload option, and then choose your CSV file. After you click on the file, the system will ask a question if the first row of your file is a student row or a header row. My first row is a header row, so I'm going to choose that option, which helps the system know how to organize your spreadsheet. Now, all you have to do is match your column headers with the Toolkit headers to make sure they match before importing. I've already got first, last name, and date of birth. But right here, I have a school column, but the Toolkit header is due date. So I'm going to change it to school so the columns match. During the import process, you'll notice a column called IEP service time. The IEP service time column is the frequency of service minutes listed in each student's IEP. Depending on your district, this could be listed as minutes per week, per month, or per quarter. For example, the first student listed receives speech-language services for 30 minutes 2 times per week. You could also include consult or push-in services in the service time column. You'll see some pink columns as you're matching column headers, but don't worry about those until the end. The pink columns appear if something doesn't match up. If there's a column from your spreadsheet, but there's not a choice for that column header, you can either add this to your notes column or you can skip that column. Click on the blue Import button in the bottom right corner, and the system will automatically import all of your caseload information into your SLP Toolkit account. Anything you add in the Caseload tab will populate to all the other pages and features. Even if you don't have time to add your whole caseload or track down that CSV file, you can still add your students' first and last names along with their IEP due date. There's also a tags column to describe different groups of students, such as screeners, RTI, and ELL students. After you import your caseload or add a few students, you can organize your caseload view to make it more personal. You can sort your caseload by one column header at the top. For example, you can alphabetize your students by last name. If you have multiple schools and want to group those students together, click on the school header. Other SLPs prefer to sort their caseload by teacher or grade. I like to organize my caseload by IEP due date because it reminds me whose IEP is due next. Another way to personalize your caseload view is to hide columns that you don't want to see or you don't need. To hide columns, click on the Actions button at the top, and this time choose Customize Caseload Fields. Anything that has the box checked is going to show on the caseload page. Anything that's unchecked will not appear. You can delete students, but that is a permanent action that can't be undone. So we recommend archiving students instead, so you will have a record of their data and notes in the future just in case. To archive a student, check the box beside their name, click on the Actions button at the top of the page, and then choose Archive Student. Before your student's first therapy session, you will need to add goals in the Students tab. Click on Add My Own Goal, then copy and paste the student's goals from your IEP software. There's also a goal library you can open by clicking on Help Me Write a Goal to help you write future IEP goals. To add objectives to a goal, click on the Actions button beside the goal and then choose Add Objective. We know taking digital data can be a bit of a learning curve. So if you want to start with paper data sheets, head to the Reports tab, choose Data Collection Sheets from the left side panel, and check the box at the top if you'd like to include demographic info for your students. There are several reports that can help you get ready for the school year. The first report is the IEP MET dates that shows all of your students' upcoming IEP and eval due dates for the school year. You'll want to select all the students on your caseload and then customize your time frame to the dates of your school year. Now I can print out this report and place it on my desk so that I can look ahead and start prepping for those students who have IEPs and evals due soon. Another useful report is the IEP at a glance, which gives you all of the key details of a student's IEP, such as the goals the student is working on, as well as their service times. This report can be great to hand out to your students' teachers so that they have a copy of this information. The last two reports will help you communicate with teachers for scheduling purposes. The first report is Teachers' Preferred Times. You can choose individual teachers or select all to generate a report that lists the students that are seen for speech services in each teacher's class. It will also ask the teacher to share 3 time blocks that those students are available to be pulled for speech. You can print out this report and hand it to your teachers, or you can copy and paste the content into an email instead. The last report is Teachers' Student Schedule. You can use this after your schedule is created. Your students' therapy times will populate to another template letter that includes each student and their therapy days and times. Again, you can print out this report and hand it to your teachers, or you can copy and paste the content into an email instead. I don't know about you, but scheduling is my least favorite part of the job. Hopefully, the scheduling feature in SLP Toolkit can make it a little less painful. To get started, you can create a blank schedule to add your students to later. Head to the Daily Data tab and click on the blue plus sign beside Schedules. Give your schedule a name, such as the school name or the school year. The system will automatically color code your schedule by therapy type, but you can also color code your students by their teacher's name or their school. You can also create a custom color scheme in the Caseload tab using the Actions button. Now add your start and end times and the tentative start and end dates for the school year. You can always change these later if you're not exactly sure when you will start to see your students. Once you add the start and end dates, you will see a school calendar on the right side of the page. Green blocks are active school days, so if there are any weeks that you will be out of school for holidays or school breaks, check the box beside that week and the system will gray that week out. The scheduler won't schedule your students during that week, so you could do this for longer breaks such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, and spring break to save a little time on the front end. You'll also see question marks beside each scheduling field, so you can hover over those to get more information on what each one means. I'll go ahead and create a schedule so that I'll have a clean slate to start with this school year. There are 2 different ways that you can add students to your schedule. The first option is to add them on the white agenda page by right-clicking your mouse and then clicking on New Therapy Session. Add the start and end times and students from the drop-down box. If you want the event to be a one-time session, click Create Event. If you want the event to repeat every week, check the box beside Schedule Future Sessions and add it to the new schedule you just created and what day of the week you want the event to repeat. Another way to schedule students is with our built-in scheduling feature that helps you streamline the process. Click on the name of the schedule you just created and then add service times for each student. To do this, click on the very first student in the drop-down box at the top, and you can see that this student has 60 minutes of direct services and 10 minutes of consult services each week. Underneath the service times section, I'm going to click the plus sign to add service minutes for this student. I will split up the 60 minutes of services into two 30-minute sessions. I also need to add 10 minutes of consult. You'll notice the system automatically shows 30-minute intervals, but you can change that to any number you need. So if you have 5-minute art tech kids or a 15-minute consult, you can change the number of minutes as needed. You can also add additional tags under the teacher's name when a student can be pulled for services. Once you've added service times and additional tags for your caseload, click on the second tab at the top called Service Times. This is where the magic happens. If you've already created a schedule on paper, click and drag the colored blocks for each student into the calendar. If you're creating a schedule from scratch, search for different commonalities of your students with the filter box, such as teacher, grade, additional tags, or therapy type. To create a group, click on a time frame in the calendar and then click the Schedule button in the bottom left corner. The system will automatically add some of your students from the group to the calendar. You can also schedule more than 4 students to a group by dragging the additional student blocks to the existing group. You may see that it covers up another student's name in the group, but all the students in the group will show up correctly in the Daily Data tab when you open your session. If you have a special schedule type, such as rotating A/B days, we have helpful articles within the scheduling section of our knowledge base that will show you how to set up those different schedule types within your Toolkit account. You can access our knowledge base at any time by clicking on the white question mark in the top right corner of your account, then click on the Help icon here at the bottom and head to the scheduling section. Here, I'll find a tutorial with more info on creating an A/B block schedule. Now let's take a look at the pre-made literacy lesson plans you can use anytime in SLP Toolkit. To get started, click on the pink Add a New Plan button and then choose from Template to open the lesson plan library. There are over 100 different lesson plans to choose from. You can search for a particular book title or article. You can also search by category or goal area. There are some lesson plans for back to school, such as How I Spent My Summer Vacation. This lesson plan is for kindergarten through 6th grade students, so it targets a lot of different ages. Scroll down the page to preview what's included in the plan. There are different targets, questions, and vocabulary for each plan. Once you find a plan you want to use, click on Use this plan, and the lesson plan will open in the Plan tab and will save to your personal lesson plan library. The next time you go to your Plan tab, you will see the list of lesson plans you can use during your sessions. You can also download and print a PDF copy. There's also an option to import a lesson plan file shared by a Toolkit bestie. Toolkit lesson plan files are saved in a special TKJP file format that can only be opened while working in the app. To import a lesson plan into your account, click Upload a Plan, choose the file, and then click Import. This is how you will add the back to school lesson plan included in the course freebies. Last but not least, we also have a lot of free lesson plans created by other Toolkit users within our freebie library. We will be sharing a resource with you at the end of this course that will give you a link to the freebie library, but you can also access it from the Toolkit Treasures article available in our knowledge base. You'll see that there are several different free resources that I would highly recommend checking out. For now, let's take a closer look at the freebie library. Once I'm here, I can click on Lesson Plans and then select the plan I'd like to use. You can click on the name of the lesson plan to preview it or download it as a PDF to your device. Or you can click the Download button, which will allow you to download the file directly into your Toolkit account. Thank you so much for joining us for our Back to School workshop. As a thank you, we want to share a few resources we created to help ease you back into the school year. To access these resources, copy this link provided in the slide. You'll then be taken to this infographic. First, you'll see a link to the Back to School freebies. Here, you'll find a few different resources. There's a Back to School checklist you can use to help keep you organized for the new school year. We've also thrown in an end-of-the-year checklist that you can save for later to help you wrap things up at the end of the school year. You'll also find a teacher input Google form. This is a super helpful resource that you can send out to your teachers to quickly gather information about a student when writing their IEP. Last but not least, we have this awesome no prep back to school lesson plan that you can use with your students. It includes a set of classroom rules, speech goal cards that you can fill out with your students, and a few get-to-know-you activities for a variety of ages. On the second page, you'll also see instructions on how to import this lesson plan into your Toolkit account. Within this infographic, you'll also find a link to our knowledge base so that you can quickly find tutorial articles and videos on the different features in the app. Below that is a link you can use to sign up for a live Q&A that we host each week. Lastly, we wanted to highlight the Bright Ideas Media website that offers a variety of courses that you can earn CEU credit for. Just search for the keyword SLP Toolkit to find free courses to help you explore the software in more detail. Thank you again so much for taking the time to join us for this back to school workshop, and we hope you have an awesome upcoming school year.